The Shallotte Fire Department has gotten high marks for its service and response time, and Shallotte Mayor Walt Eccard is trying to keep it that way, as he explains to us here at Carolina Buzz. Hi everybody, John Daly here for Carolina Buzz with news along the Carolina coast. Now, Mayor Eccard is working to keep those standards of service at a high level, as Shallotte Fire is still one of the only departments that's adopted performance standards.
Now, why are performance standards important? They're important because we use actual data to figure out how promptly do we need to get to either a medical emergency or a fire in order to get the maximum positive result. That's measured in minutes. In addition, there are requirements dealing with the number of people you have to have on a site for a fire. And we have all those standards formally adopted by the Board of Aldermen, and our fire department reports on those to the public every month.
And that means insurance savings for Shallotte businesses.
Fire services are rated by insurance carriers, and we have about the highest rating you can get. It's a rating of 2. That benefits particularly the businesses in Shallotte because they get lower insurance costs.
But as Shallotte continues to grow, Mayor Eccard says there will be a need for more fire stations, firefighters, and equipment.
The profession has become much more complicated, much more highly trained, and so the cost of providing what's adequate fire service now is dramatically different than what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago.
But the mayor is warning that today's funding mechanisms are not up to date.
Right now it is not. Right now, fire services in Brunswick County are provided through a mechanism called a fire fee. Brunswick County is the only one of 100 counties in North Carolina that uses this funding mechanism.
It's based on a home or a business's square footage, but state law says the town can't increase that amount even if the costs go up. That's why Shallotte is using property taxes to cover the gap.
In Shallotte, our budget for fire is about $2.1 million. Fire fees cover 60% of that. That means over $800,000 of taxpayer money has to go in to provide support for the fire protection services in Shallotte.
But Mayor Eccard says Shallotte taxpayers are also paying for services outside of Shallotte.
What makes it even more interesting and complicated is our obligations are not restricted simply to the town borders of Shallotte. We, like 6 of the other 8 municipalities and the volunteer departments, have what they call fire districts outside of corporate limits that we're obligated by contract to provide fire protection service for. So that presents an anomaly that our taxpayers in the town of Shallotte are helping to fund providing fire services to people outside of Shallotte in our fire district.
So will taxpayers in Shallotte pay more in the future for fire services?
That is the $64,000 question. The county currently is studying possible changes to the current system. I think it's fair to say that most people who have looked at this think that the current system is broken. It provides insufficient funds, and it's an archaic form of fundraising. So the county is looking at moving perhaps to a fire tax. Now, a fire tax is different from a fire fee in that the fire tax is based on property value, not square footage. That may or may not make a difference in terms of the amount of money raised. The big questions are, what kind of tax rate is imposed? Is it imposed uniformly throughout the county, or in the 21 fire districts, or some combination thereof? We have not received answers from the county. They're working on a schedule to have this effective next fiscal year.
Is this part of what you're trying to do with the election coming up and running for re-election? Does it tie into that?
It does in a couple of ways. Number one, this issue is going to continue through at least early next year. They theoretically need to come up with a solution in time so municipalities and other areas can budget for the upcoming year. Second, I think it's vitally important the town have an active and involved voice in any plan that comes up. And third, I think because this topic is a little complicated, it's incumbent on the town and on its elected representatives to make sure our citizens understand what's being proposed, what the impact will be on them, and what is the right path forward. Obviously, it's a matter of importance, not just for funding, but also for the adequacy of fire services.
For more information, go to the Town of Shallotte website, which is at townofshallotte.org. And for more information on what's happening in the Carolinas, go to Carolina Buzz, which streams for free at wingding.tv or on the free Wingding app.